Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about Cartoon Network, and it looks like they're getting woke. I want to look at a trailer for a new cartoon. I don't exactly know what it's called. It's something to do with crystal gems. I think they might be PSAs, to be honest, not a whole cartoon show, but nevertheless, they're using a kid's cartoon that I guess kids watch these days, I don't know, and using it to make an anti-racist message. I saw this and it instantly gave me a sick feeling in my stomach. Cringy is the word I would use. Is that even a word? Let's look at it.
1, 2, 3. Hey, when we're older, let's get married.
Okay, now I have no problem with inserting yet another issue into this PSA, but I think they're both boys. I know I'm not supposed to gender people, least of all children, but that's the impression I get. I get the impression that the little black character is a boy. I get the impression the one in the green shirt is a boy. So we're also having them in this little PSA be gay children and know that they're gay children. Now you'll soon see this is actually a film within a film. Supposedly they're filming a PSA within their PSA. You'll see in a moment. But just wanted to mention that for the sake of this discussion, I don't think their gender really matters. I just wanted to point out that they are talking about marriage and they at least seem to be both the same gender. It seems that way.
Ha! You can't get married. Why not? Black people can't marry white people.
I'm sorry, what? Is this 1950? This is what got me. This is where they went off the rails as far as I'm concerned. It's 2020. So not only can black people marry white people, it happens all the time. All the time, to the point where I would say it's commonplace for the average person in America to know at least one interracial couple dating or married. And it's not always black white. Sometimes it's Asian white, sometimes it's black Asian, sometimes mixed marriages are so common. We see them on TV, we see them in commercials, we see them in movies. They are common. This is not a novel concept, okay? So the certainty with which this character, and I'm assuming again it's a girl, the voice went up, the certainty that she uses is so out of place. I'm left to wonder, who are they talking to? And you'll soon see I'm not alone.
Hey now.
It's Garnet from Steven Universe.
Kids, don't be racist.
Don't be racist. At least she says kids, plural, right? She's talking to all of them. Although, why is she talking to all of them? There's one person here in the scene who is racist, and it's the little girl in blue. Why are we having this be about kids? Don't be racist. Kid, singular. Why are we talking to the group? Big problem. This is what I mentioned in my other videos, where there's a problem on the playground and it's immediately everyone has to do whatever the thing is. Don't bully, don't do this. What happened to individuals being responsible for their behavior? If there is an adult present, pull the individual child aside, have a private conversation with that child. If you need to loop the others back in for an apology or something else, absolutely, by all means. Restorative justice would include that, but restorative justice doesn't mean you're all guilty. Everyone don't do this thing. I didn't see anybody else doing anything, frankly. Just this one girl who needs to have a talking to, if she in fact exists.
Cut. Okay, people, we just need to get coverage. We'll start again in 5.
This is the cheesiest job I've ever done.
Okay. Little kid. And if we're going by size, I'm guessing elementary school. I'm guessing maybe he's 10. Let's say 10. He's not in middle school yet. That would be kind of shocking, just given his physical size. But having said that, What's the first thing he does when they say cut? He pulls out his own personal cell phone, which he's had in his back pocket when he was riding down the slide and playing in the playground. Continuity issues, maybe? I don't know, but that just strikes me as odd. So now he's playing it. This is the cheesiest job I've ever done. So he's done these before. He's, I don't know, playing himself in his show. I don't know what it is, but this is the cheesiest job he's ever done. He's commenting on that. They're following him. Why are they following him? Cut. He's walking up. They have a break. Why are they following him? He hasn't done anything yet. He hasn't said anything. He played his part. Can he go have his break now? No, they're following the little white boy. And I know there are people who are going to watch this and say, aren't you overanalyzing this? I don't think so. And I think you'll soon see why. I'll explain.
Stuff like this doesn't actually happen in real life.
He said it out loud. Kind of like the girl, you black people can't marry white people. Stuff like this doesn't actually happen in real life. First of all, they've followed him. They're listening to him. He says the words out loud. Is that what we all do now? We all say the thing out loud. Nobody has thoughts in their own head. And that's his view. Now, you can disagree. You can say things like this still do happen, or I have personally seen this happen, and explain to this child that because he's not seen it doesn't mean it doesn't happen. But let's not lose sight of the fact that he's expressing his personal experience. At whatever age he is, he hasn't seen it. He hasn't seen it. He obviously has friends who are not all white. Even though he's acting in this role, it doesn't seem like he lives a segregated life. Again, it's 2020. How likely is that? So he hasn't experienced it. He hasn't seen it. This seems to me to be good news. If a kid makes it to the age of 10 and they've literally never seen or heard anyone say something like that, that's good. That's his experience. And let's see what they do with that.
Whoa there.
Are you kidding?
Whoa there. Are you kidding? So there's 2-on-1. They're sort of coming in to school him on things. And the kid says, are you kidding? Well, first of all, he wasn't talking to you. Second of all, is that really the way to approach somebody? Are you kidding? How would it be? Flip it around. Flip it around, and it's the black kid talking about a scenario to himself, and somebody comes over and says, whoa, are you kidding? Wouldn't that child immediately be guilty of denying his lived experience? Is that really how we open up the conversation? How about, is that what you really think? Or is that your experience? Or really, you've never seen this? Are you kidding? Like, you idiot?
It totally does.
It totally does. Totally. Now, I understand totally is an expression, but how about it's happened to me or I've seen it? Because we don't have any evidence that this kid's even seen it. It totally does. It's like out there. It totally does. Where does it? I'm 54 years old and I've never seen it. I was born in 1966. I grew up in the 70s. Lived in an integrated neighborhood. Then lived the rest of my childhood in New York City. I had tons of friends who came from mixed race marriages. Where does this happen? I mean, maybe there were places in the Deep South or something like that, but it's 2020. It totally does. Seems a bit overgeneralized. Seems a bit broad. But okay, let's continue.
Just because this has never happened to you doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
Okay, that's fine. Just because it doesn't happen to you doesn't mean it doesn't happen. But is that what he said? It doesn't happen to me? Nothing happened to him. He has not seen this situation. He's never experienced that. He's never seen somebody say, this can't occur. And why not turn around to the other boy and say the same thing? Just because you've seen it doesn't mean it's everybody's experience. Again, that's good news. That's good news. And should we be a little bit curious at least about why the black boy knows it happens? Does he know that it happens because he's seen white people do it? Or is it possible he's seen people in his own community do it? Are we talking again? Everyone's looking at the little white character. Apparently racism only can come from him. There's no chance at all, the subtext says, that the little black boy has seen black and white people can't be married in his own community. That's That's not possible. She's looking at the little white. She's not looking at all of them. Remember, it's don't be racist to all the kids. Now it's little white boy. Let's go on.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry. Seriously,
I'm sorry. Seriously. I didn't know.
I didn't know.
Yeah, everyone messes up some.
Yeah, everyone messes up sometime. So what's his role now? He's not saying I've messed up too. Everyone messes up sometime. Okay, good. Maybe you have. Give an example. That might be nice. Maybe you'll be closer friends. But he is now in the absolution business. He's in the absolution business. Oh, let me absolve. It's okay. I declare that it's okay.
Sometimes. But you gotta realize it hurts to deal with racism.
Don't think anyone said that it didn't. I didn't hear that. Did you hear that? I didn't hear that. I didn't hear him say, this stuff doesn't happen in real life. And even if it did, okay, no one said it doesn't hurt. He just doesn't think it happens. Different problem.
And when people act like it's not real, it makes it feel even worse.
Okay, when people act like it's not real, he's not acting anything. Acting like it's not real would be looking at a racist situation and trying to pretend it's something other than what it is. That's when you're making it not real. When somebody is describing a situation to you where there is some evidence that there's been, racial discrimination, either they're telling you and they give you evidence, or you witness it with your own eyes and you deny it and you just shove all the evidence to the side and say, no, that's in your imagination. That would be incredibly painful. And I'll grant you that. That's not what happened, though. He's saying it's not my experience. I've not seen it. I don't know what we're talking about here. And if I were in his shoes, even at my age, I'd be saying the same thing. I've literally never seen it. Let's go on.
You have to acknowledge racism to work against it.
Okay, true enough. Yes, you do. Not present here. We were, first of all, acting it in an extreme way. Black people can't marry white people. What, could we pick something more extreme? That's crazy extreme in 2020. And I realize it's my opinion, but that's my lived experience, and it's been pretty diverse. True enough that you have to acknowledge any problem in order to deal with it. But the difference between acknowledging it and saying it totally does and it's everywhere and your lived experience doesn't count because you're white, which is the implication here, and my perception that it totally does is all that matters. Nobody's challenging this boy. Where have you seen it? When have you seen it? How often? Who said something to you? Where did you... There's no attempt at real understanding. It's just, you are the authority. I have no idea, and I'm so sorry, and please absolve me. Okay, everybody messes up sometime. Let's continue.
You're right. I can do that.
You're right. I can do that. Only him. Only him. He's the only one. So, yes, he's the one who said, does this stuff really happen in real life anyway? And everybody else is off the hook. Like, just him. He's the only person who did anything. Nobody's even questioning the little black boy as to why he thinks this totally does. It's just assumed he's seen it only in the white community. Why do I have a sneaking suspicion that these kinds of things go on in the black community too? I do. I don't have evidence at this moment, but I've heard of couples running into trouble where the black side of the family was not too happy with their son or daughter marrying someone white. And given everything that we hear lately, I think that's less shocking than the people tripping over themselves to be anti-racist, saying, you can't marry someone black. Just a thought.
You kids better work on this before the wedding.
Whoa, that's just
We're
for
just
the script.
actors. We only just met today.
That's just in the script. We just met. Why is that even in here? Why is the whole thing about the marriage in here? What? Why is that even in here? Is that like going to be another PSA about how it's okay for, little boys to marry each other or little boys to have crushes on each other? I mean, okay, but I know as a parent, if I had young children who were into the crystal gems, they wouldn't be anymore. This is not okay. This is not okay. And it's not because I deny the existence of racism. It's not because I think we need to avoid having any difficult conversations with children. Of course, we can't do that. But if you really want to teach children how to solve problems, how to not make gross generalizations about other people, how to not deny the lived experience of other people that doesn't match their own, you still have to individualize it. I'm going to sound like a broken record. Anybody who's following this channel is going to eventually say that girl is a broken record. She keeps harping on individualism. She keeps harping on dealing with children as individuals. Yes, I do. And I'm going to. I'm not going to stop. Because that's what we are. That's how we live. And that's how we remain Americans. And believe it or not, our unity as a country depends upon us being individuals, comfortable in our own skin, full of self-love, not narcissism, self-love, self-acceptance. And you don't get there by chastising individuals based on the color of their skin or deciding that it's okay for one type of person based on the color of their skin, to deny the lived experience of another type of person, completely discount the good news inherent in their lived experience, and then assume there's no such thing as racism except from white people. And that's what I see here. So my children wouldn't be watching this because it's just not good. It handles it badly. It has so many messages in there that confuse the goal of doing away with prejudice, doing away with bigotry, having children treat each other with kindness, decency, respect, and understanding. There's none of that here. It's finger wagging, mea culpa, when, again, what did he do that was so wrong? He really didn't do anything wrong. Let's see how this could have gone differently. Hey, hang on a second. Little girl, little person who was just acting racist. Let me pull you aside and individually deal with your issues and talk about how that's pretty hurtful what you just did. Cut. Okay. Then if the little boy says, this is so cheesy, why am I doing this? How about if they happen to overhear him, not just following him around waiting for him to mess up, because that's what it looks like, stopping him and saying, why do you say that? Why do you think that? Well, because I've never seen it. Do you think it's possible that it could still happen even though you've not seen it? Allow the child to arrive at his own conclusion. Most kids are pretty bright. They'll say, if he's bright enough to have a cell phone he whips out immediately and to use words like cheesy, I imagine he would say, I suppose it could. Yeah, it could happen just because I haven't seen it, but I haven't seen it. And then the other little boy could say, well, I have. And the adult in the scenario could say, why don't you tell him what you've seen? And then we could have some specifics. And the little boy could say, well, in my neighborhood, I saw this person or heard that person and they said this, or when my aunt and my uncle got married and my uncle is white and my aunt is black and somebody was mean about it. Now we have actual specifics. And when the problem is concrete like that, not only would the other little boy begin to understand and relate and empathize with this little boy, he's not stupid. He's going to understand that this can happen. If it could happen to his friend, it could happen to anybody. And you could follow that up saying that explicitly if you really wanted to. You could say, as you can see, this happened to him. It could happen to anybody, even if it hasn't happened to you, even if you haven't seen it. There, too, we're acknowledging that racism can happen to anyone in any community, and it's not only exclusively perpetrated by white people. And rather than having the little boy go, I'm sorry, and having the black boy go, it's okay, everybody messes up, I forgive you, is the message. He could say, wow, I never thought of it like that. Thanks for explaining it to me. I learned something today. And then other kids watching could see that it's okay to say, I was wrong. I learned something. Not other people instructed me and corrected me, but I was wrong. I learned something. I apologize if I hurt your feelings. I didn't mean to. Notice the difference in I there, rather than I'm guilty to I'm responsible. And next time I will do, I can do that. I can follow directions. I'm not really sure he learned so much as I can do what you just told me to do. And then she says to fight racism, we have to acknowledge it. Like I said, that's a generic statement. Of course, that's a given. But we have to acknowledge it where it really is. And when the other boy says, you need to understand it hurts people. That's way out of left field. That is denying this other little boy's humanity and empathy. That's presuming that his denial means callousness. No, just ignorance. Just straight up rank ignorance. Seems like a nice enough kid. In fact, he's tripping over himself to apologize. So he's eager to please. Why is it assumed that because, you know, he made this ignorant comment, he doesn't understand that these things can hurt when they're real? And he says, and when people deny it, it really hurts. He didn't deny it. He just said he's never seen it. Does this really happen? It was, in fact, in the form of a question. Somebody could have come up and said, actually, it does. It happened to me, like I said. So there's so many ways this is wrong. This puts one race above another. And I'm not criticizing this on the basis of white fragility. So please don't come at me with that. Don't come at me with you went losing your power and privilege and you're upset about that. No, there's nothing to do with it. I'm just saying hurt is hurt, and being the certain authority of all things is not something anyone should be. If mistakes have been made in the past where people have denied the lived experience of others just because they didn't match their own, that's the problem to solve. It's not the problem to solve for white people. It's a problem, period. And I also don't happen to think that it helps Black kids, Black adults, Black communities to do it this way. I don't think this helps anyone. In fact, I think this kind of thing is going to destroy friendships. Because at a minimum, I think the most truthful thing in this is the impulse on the part of this first little boy to say, this is cheesy. Because it is. It's cringy. Any kid watching this who's grown up in 2020 America is probably going to say, you've got to be kidding me. This obviously has been made by a bunch of white people who probably have lived in all white neighborhoods, or who may know biracial couples, but assume that in every other part of the country it's frowned upon or something. Like they have to school the rest of the country because we don't all live in whatever place they made the show. And I feel like it's a lecture coming from ignorance about real life. I think the kid is telling the truth. I don't think this bears any resemblance to real life. I think this doesn't address the problem of racism at all. And I think it's going to compound it by having kids feel like they have to do something for everyone and not just for themselves and their own behavior. So I think this is a bad idea. I don't think it's okay. And that's why. But I really am interested to hear what you think. If you disagree, if you think I'm all washed up and wrong about this in every way, please say so in the comments. If you think I have a point, tell me that too. And I thank you for watching, and I hope you will like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell to be notified when I make another video, and see you next time.